My name is Hannah, and this is my beauty budget. Are these earrings from Rent the Runway? Yes. Do I want to buy them and keep them and love them and wear them whenever anything is required of me and be married in them and be buried in them and be reincarnated as them and adorn the ears of future generations? Yes. Have I already spent my entire budget for the month of January? Yes. I don't want to talk about it. This top is from Rent the Runway too. It has one short sleeve and one long sleeve. Anyway, despite all appearances, my no-buy year completely transformed my relationship with one of my favorite pastimes, the buying and wearing of beautiful clothing and accessories. This video is probably going to be a bit chattier and a bit less bullet point oriented than the other videos in this series. So if you don't like my essayistic and descriptive way of talking about things, then you might particularly dislike this one. Just wanted to give fair warning, but I am going to try not to go on for too long. So let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. I haven't talked as much about fashion on my channel as I have about makeup and skincare because my entry into YouTube was the beauty community. I watch beauty channels primarily, so when I started a YouTube channel, I started a beauty channel and I joined that community. I don't really watch very many fashion and lifestyle channels. However, my love of beautiful things and my out-of-control spending on beautiful things has historically manifested in my closet more than it has in any other area of my life. Owning and wearing lovely clothes brings me a lot of pleasure, and I've also found that it can be a source of various kinds of power. Being sleek and put together earns me power in certain settings. Appearing chic earns me power in certain settings. Appearing older than I am can be very powerful, and it can also be powerful sometimes to appear younger than I am. Dressing in a sexy way and giving off a sexy vibe is a kind of power. The more time I've spent with fashion and the more I've experimented with buying different kinds of clothes and putting them onto my body in various combinations, the more mastery I've gained over the art of wielding self-expression through dress for various purposes. One purpose is to present myself in the most advantageous way possible in various situations, but obviously another purpose in perfecting the art of dressing myself is just simply pleasure for myself. Delight in my own body, delight in the tactile and the visual representation of all of the facets of my personality. I celebrate myself and sing myself, as Walt Whitman said. I celebrate myself and sing myself by wearing mixed prints and editorial ruffles. So loving clothes and loving wearing beautiful clothes is totally natural to me. It's a natural part of my personality. It's an art form that brings me a significant amount of joy, and I'm glad it's part of my life. I'm lucky that I have the time and intelligence to learn about it. I'm lucky that I have been culturally educated enough to develop a distinctive personal taste. And I'm lucky that I've had the means to experiment with fashion on my own body at various stages of my life. As I've said before on my channel, there's nothing wrong with loving beauty. I actually think that a passionate love of beauty can be a kind of superpower, and I feel lucky to have that too. But a love of fashion can have its dangers. And for me, I think that danger lies in the intersection between clothing and identity. The search for identity and the desire to define oneself is part of the human condition. And that search and that striving is also something that I don't have a problem with. Just like a love of beauty, I think it's something worth celebrating. But identity is fluid and evolving and confusing. That's part of what makes it so wonderful. I'm at my healthiest when I let myself go, let myself grow and evolve and surprise myself without trying to keep a vice grip on my own personality and my own true nature. But before my no-buy year, I would say right up until the start of my no-buy year, I was in the habit of requiring my closet to grow and change as much as my identity. because I was dead set on making sure that my style of dress was a perfect reflection of my sense of self in every single moment. Because I am always evolving, and because I sometimes struggle with myself and don't always feel great about myself, I was constantly searching for new clothes and new accessories to manifest the person that I hoped I was evolving into. I struggled with myself, with my identity, which is totally normal, and then I searched for new clothes to settle the struggle for identity, which is not a healthy way to attempt to settle life's problems. I've always been an artist, so I've never had a lot of money. So I have become an expert thrift shopper. I have a lot of really nice clothes. I have a lot of designer clothes, but the vast majority of them came from Nordstrom Rack, from Poshmark, from eBay, from designer consignment shops. But when you buy things secondhand, or when you buy things at discount stores like that, you have to pay with your time. You have to visit the shops over and over and over again, hoping to strike it lucky, hoping to find that perfect item that is that perfect combination of being the thing that represents your personal style and also being the thing that you can afford. And I was addicted to that search because it felt like a kind of searching for identity. It felt like I was searching for solutions to the problems that I was having with myself. And I've had to do constant declutters to rid my home of the piles of thrift shop and fast fashion junk clothes that were constantly accumulating. Now, I'm not going to say that the answer is to stop searching for identity or stop having problems in your life or stop having problems with yourself and then your shopping problems will go away. That is not how it happened for me. As many of you know, I didn't solve any of my problems before the beginning of my no-buy year. I just stopped shopping cold turkey. And my struggles with myself and with my identity didn't go away. In fact, I would say they intensified partway through the year because I no longer had that outlet, although it wasn't ever really an outlet. I no longer had the mental hamster wheel of shopping to run on as a way of distracting and exhausting myself from the issues of myself. So I stopped buying clothes, and then I had only one resource on which to draw when it came to making my appearance match my feelings every single day. And that one resource was my own closet. In retrospect, I can see that two major shifts occurred over the course of the no-buy year. One was that I relaxed and I became less obsessed with looking and feeling perfect all the time, and I became less obsessed with my outward appearance matching my feelings. But concurrently, I became better, much, much better at using what I already had in my closet to look and feel great. It was like the more I let go of the obsession with perfection of dress, the closer to perfection I actually got. So of those two shifts, the first shift being relaxing about it all, and the second shift being getting better at dressing myself, I'm going to talk about the two of them individually. So first, the shift towards being less obsessed with perfection. It did happen slowly. At the beginning of the year, there were times when I saw clothes that I wanted to buy online, and I felt like my life and my persona and my identity and my comfort level and my happiness and everything would just be immeasurably improved if I could only just buy those clothes. It was pain. I pined for new clothes and I pained for them because it felt like the existential pain of not being able to be the woman I want to be. My only recourse was to wear what I already had. And as my brain adjusted to the idea that there were no other options, nothing beyond the confines of my one closet, the whole project of dressing myself, both the physical and the existential project of it, just calmed down a bit. At first it calmed down a bit, and then over time it calmed down a lot, actually. I just started spending less and less emotional energy on fashion because there was only so far that that energy could go, and there was only one place for it to go. It could only go into my own closet. My previous definition of perfection of dress had always seemed to involve acquiring more and more things. But because that was no longer an option, I had to relax that definition and be happy with what I had. And that was a real blessing. So that was the first major shift. Then, partway through the year, something happened that precipitated the second major shift, the part about getting better at wearing my own clothes. What happened was that going months and months without buying clothes made me want to get rid of clothes. It was like my total focus on my own closet, the total focus on my own closet that I had required of myself, made me fully and finally aware that I had too much stuff, that I didn't really love. And I started urgently feeling like it was confusing and stifling me to have all that stuff. So I reread Marie Kondo's book and I did a ruthless and total Kondo style clean out of my closet. I didn't count. I wish I had. I learned my lesson. I didn't count, but I believe that I got rid of half of what was in my closet. I got rid of a lot of pieces that I had sentimental attachment to, that I presumably had good reasons to love, that were useful, that looked great on me, that had been expensive. I had a lot of beautiful pieces that I got rid of for the simple reason that they didn't really spark joy. And I was left with the most glorious, streamlined, edited collection of Hannah-esque garments that I had ever owned. Of course, the joke is that I already owned all those things. I had already owned them before, but owning them in an edited, clean group was totally unlike owning them as part of a messy, overstuffed closet. I felt like I had gone shopping in my own closet and only bought the best things. And I couldn't believe my luck. And what happened is that I started dressing more like the person I want to be. It turned out that all of the loveliest and most exciting pieces that I had bought over the years were the ones that sparked the most joy, but they had been drowning in my closet among a bunch of other less ideal pieces that I had bought in moments of less clarity. Once I cleared it all out, I was left with a funkier, sleeker, more stylish, more editorial closet, and I started wearing more interesting things. My shearling vest, my faux leather track pants, my Moschino floral maxi dress, those pieces became my new normal. They became my new everyday, and my life became that much more exciting. Around that same time, I brought my Instagram account out of retirement and I started to indulge in my love of fashion in a way that I hadn't really ever done before. But I did it without buying anything new. And in fact, by that moment in the year, I was doing it without wanting anything new. I did it out of a love for the things I already owned. So that happened. That happened during my no-buy. But because of shift number one, because I had let go of the intense perfectionism surrounding matching my identity to my clothes, this other shift, the shift towards dressing better, essentially for me, it happened in a much more joyful and relaxed way than my previous approach to being well-dressed. Now I feel like I'm doing it because I want to, and not because I'm driven to it, not because I have to. And this might sound silly to those of you who aren't identity-seeking fashion lovers like I am, but these changes have actually accounted for a significant reduction of stress in my inner life. Since the end of my no-buy year, I have bought two things for my closet: a coat to replace my old coat and a pair of sneakers to replace my old sneakers. There are things that I want. There are beautiful items of clothing and accessories on my wish list, but I'm not feeling eager to add to my closet. In fact, I think I'm almost ready to take a second pass at my closet and weed out those last few stubborn things that somehow made it through the initial declutter. And I'm planning on filming that process of polishing my edited closet. So keep an eye out for that video. It's probably coming quite soon, and that'll be a fun one, and it'll be a chance for you guys to see my closet and see what's in it. The long and short of it is that I still want fewer, nicer things. I don't think I've gotten there with fewer. I still feel like I have too much. And there are a few things that could be nicer. There are some things that I've worn through during my no-buy year. There are some things I've had for a really, really long time. And there are some things that weren't that nice to begin with. So I'll continue to spend my budget carefully and thoughtfully updating the occasional piece for my closet, like I did with my coat and my sneakers. But I plan never to return to the frenzy of constant acquisitions and the cycle of a closet that grows and shrinks, and essentially feeds the landfill. At this point, for me, being stylishly dressed means wearing many of the same gorgeous statement pieces over and over again. On some level, I think that's what I've always wanted, but the consumerist poison flowing in my veins would not let me get there. No matter how much I lust after the things I cannot have, after my no-buy year, I feel detoxified and calm and very, very grateful for the things in my closet, and possibly even more grateful for the spaces in between the hangers and the breathing room in the drawers. And that is it. That is how my no-buy year changed, totally changed actually, my historically very troubled relationship with my closet and with the constant purchasing of new clothes. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you will remember to take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.